Very good evening and welcome to your Primetime News Bulletin. I'm Shane Silva.
And I'm Sonali Wanigabadage.
Sri Lanka clinches 2 gold medals during Stage 2 of the Asian Grand Prix in Thailand today.
We will have the details on sports first, but before that, here's a look at tonight's headlines.
A low-pressure zone develops in the eastern seas of Sri Lanka. Fishing and naval communities warn to refrain from setting out to sea. The IMF says it is a need to increase the electricity tariffs to secure the economy. The Council for the Aggrieved Party in the Bharata Lakshman killing says that the actions of Daminda Silva are astounding. And 5 persons, including the finance head of NARA, interdicted.
An event to mark the War Heroes Commemorative Month was held today at Temple Trees under the patronage of President Mahinda Rajapaksa.
War Heroes Commemoration Month was declared from today until the 8th of June, and the first commemorative War Hero flag was pinned on President Mahinda Rajapaksa. The Ranaviru Seva Authority and the Ministry of Defence have organised a series of events during the War Heroes Commemorative Month. The Presidential Media Unit said the revenue earned from the sale of commemorative War Hero flags last year was presented to the President by the provincial governors.
On to a story that made the headlines tonight now. Representing the aggrieved party in the case pertaining to the killing of Bharata Lakshman Premachandra and 3 others in court today, Attorney at Law Upul Jayasuriya said that parliamentarian Daminda Silva's behaviour subsequent to his being granted bail was astounding, given the fact that he was too ill to be able to come to court to sign the bond, and the court registrar had to go to him to obtain his signature. Hearings of the case were taken up today before Colombo Additional Magistrate Priyantha Liyanage.
Today, Attorney at Law Upul Jayasuriya said that the statements made by the legal counsel to the 11th suspect in the case of MP Daminda Silva and the MP's behaviour are cause for suspicion, noting that when a case is heard in court, it should serve justice and the people should be clear on how it is being conducted. Jayasuriya added that in this case, there are many suspicious areas. Jayasuriya also noted that in the report submitted by the Judicial Medical Officer to court, the JMO had noted that they would have to conduct an examination with the assistance of 2 neurospecialists in order to determine if MP Silva could appear in court or not. Noting that an application for bail was filed at the High Court, preventing this process from being initiated, Jayasuriya requested court to allow for an examination as noted in the JMO's report. At this instance, President's counsel Hemantha Varanakulasuriya, representing Silva, said that all statements he made to court on behalf of Daminda Silva were made on the basis of doctor's instructions. He said that thereby another examination is unnecessary. Accepting the submission made, the additional magistrate informed court that hearings would reconvene on the 2nd of July. Daminda Silva arrived in court today amid tight security headed by an ASP. Because there is a case going on, I will not speak of it.
Few people were killed in cold blood on the road. I think this is condemned by many. There is a group that prays that the truth will win. There are the intelligent persons. All I ask from the gods is that justice be meted out.
Coming up later on in the news, we will be taking a look at the proceedings of today's parliamentary sessions.
The house of the Deputy General Secretary of the Ilanke Tamil Arsukachi, located in Nallur, Jaffna, was pelted with stones last night. The Deputy General Secretary of ITAC, CVK Sivanyanam, said that the attack was politically motivated.
The attack on the residence in Nallur of CVK Sivanyanam took place at around 11:45 last night. He said that an unidentified group had hurled rocks at his residence for around 10 minutes. No casualties were reported in the incident. However, the house was badly damaged.
இங்கே இந்த மண்ணிலே இராணுவம் போலீஸ் போன்றவர்கள் பரவலாக இருக்கின்ற நிலையிலே இது நடைபெறுகிறது என்றால்
I consider this a politically motivated attack. It is not possible to level an attack of such nature in an area like Nallur, which is highly populated and has a heavy army and police presence. Ordinary people cannot carry out such an attack. This incident depicts that democracy is fading away in Jaffna in the north. If we are to face the elections in this backdrop, society will have to focus its attention here. Election monitors, international observers should be deployed during the entire duration of the elections. The government should prevent such incidents from taking place. We cannot assume that the government, the police or the army does not know about it. We have seen how those from the government are directly involved in such incidents. Though the police has been informed of this, they have not taken any measures. Those involved were not arrested. This is the situation in the Tamil areas.
Meanwhile, speaking in Parliament today, parliamentarian Sujiva Senasinghe expressed the following views.
Honourable Chairman, following the end of the war, what has been left to us is not the country that we expected. Corruption has exploded. There is no law and order and there is no good governance in the country. Not only that, the constitution of this country protects Buddhist teachings.
1 minute. Thank you, sir. Now
the people here are talking about the Buddhist religion. They speak of religion and they are saying here, I will not mention names.
Sean Kingston, Nelly in Sri Lanka. Parliamentarian, National Rugby Bay himself, who is involved with Charlton, tweeted saying that the two big names will be in Sri Lanka for the concert on the 12th of July. Fat Buddha Productions. A list of satisfied clients, Nelly, Fat Buddha. Fat Buddha Pratima Kuddala, Visheshema.
And now they have put up a statue of this fat Buddha which gives a warped view of the Lord Buddha that we believe in. In truth, Chairman, we are ashamed to even read this out. While we are talking about protecting Buddhism in this country, this is what this group is doing. I cannot mention names.
මේ පිරිස ගැන මට නම් වශයෙන් කතා කරන්න බෑ. මොකද මේ පිරිස එතකොට මේ ගෙන්නන ආකාරයේ මේ Fat Buddha Productions, Buddha Engineers, Buddha Producers. දැන් මේ පිරිස තමයි මට මතකයි ඒකෝන් කියන.
I remember when the singer Akon was supposed to come here, there was a video in which there was a small picture of the Lord Buddha, I think, in the backdrop of the frame in which the singer was dancing in. A large group went and pelted stones at the media institution which was sponsoring this. Now the people who did this were brought there by the government, and then the government saved its skin. Now this group is bringing down Nelly and Sean Kingston via Fat Buddha Productions.
Nelly සහ Sean Kingston කියන දෙන්න සම්බන්ධයෙන් මේ ඉදිරි අනාගතයේදී කරන කාර්යභාරය Fat Buddha Production. දැන් මේ සඳහන් වන සභාපතිතුමනි විශේෂයෙන්ම තවත් මම Talk to Buddha. දැන් මේ තියෙනවා ඒ සමාගමේ The Buddha Shop. මේ මා සභාගත කරන සභාපතිතුමනි මේ රටේ I
wish to state, Chairman, that with regard to Buddhism, what the government is doing in this country is a deception. They talk about Buddhism and Matatatita. They say they are going to weaken the 13th Amendment. They say they are going to do away with the open economy, the presidential system and corruption. But, Honourable Chairman, this government, like no other Asian country, has violated all of this and is corrupting this country.
The National Movement for Social Justice reiterates to the opposition leader that the need of the hour is not a new constitution but the abolishing of the executive presidency. Addressing a letter to the opposition leader, the chairman of the movement's convening board, Venerable Madhuluave Sopithathera, says that it has been reported in the media that the United National Party is preparing a new constitution.
In the letter, Venerable Madhuluave Sopithathera notes that considering the situation in the country, the National Movement for Social Justice has already compiled a draft constitutional amendment following lengthy discussions with veteran legal experts. Pointing out that this draft has the blessings of the chief prelates and other religious leaders, Venerable Madhuluave Sopithathera says that he believes the opposition leader has also received a copy of this draft constitutional amendment. The National Movement for Social Justice notes that while there is a need for a new constitution, such a process would be time-consuming. Venerable Madhuluave Sopithathera added that since all party leaders have agreed verbally and in writing that the executive presidency needs to be abolished, the National Movement for Social Justice is attempting to have this passed through the current government. In his letter to the opposition leader, the Thera requests that the opposition leader grant his support to the program that will be initiated if the current government fails in this task.
Amina Saleh, the daughter of former Deputy Mayor of the Colombo Municipal Council Asad Saleh, has lodged a complaint with the Human Rights Commission of Sri Lanka against the detention of her father. In her complaint, Amina Saleh notes that her father Asad Saleh was unlawfully arrested on the 2nd of May. She also adds in her complaint that cases currently have been filed in the Supreme Court and the Court of Appeal against her father's arrest. Amina Saleh urges the Human Rights Commission to intervene and produce her father before an appropriate court based on the law. A low-pressure system is building over the seas off the eastern coast of Sri Lanka, which can cause rough seas 300 kilometers from Hambantota. The Department of Meteorology has issued a warning to fishing and seafaring communities on the dangers that they may encounter. Now, what causes a low-pressure system to develop? Shane has more.
Let's take a look at the satellite imagery obtained at 2:30 this afternoon from the AccuWeather website. Now, this low-pressure system is developing 800 kilometers away from Hambantota in the eastern seas of Sri Lanka. Low-pressure systems form when there is a convergence of winds in the lower atmosphere. This causes an increase in wind speeds and is conducive to the formation of storm clouds. Now, this can also result in seas becoming extremely rough. It is because of this reason that the Department of Meteorology has requested fishermen and seafarers to refrain from entering the seas 300 kilometers off the mainland. Here is the duty officer at the Department of Meteorology who elaborated further.
Low pressure area is formed to the east of Sri Lanka and located about 800 kilometers to the east of Hambantota. Therefore, eastern and southeastern sea areas beyond 300 kilometers from Hambantota experience strong winds, rough conditions and intermittent rain. Shin and Naval Committee are kindly requested to refrain from maritime activities in these sea areas. The situation is being closely monitored by the Department of Meteorology. Showers or thunder showers can be expected in western, southern and Sabaragamu provinces during the morning too.
Now, in the meantime, the number of persons affected by the torrential downpour over the past few days has exceeded 100,000. The most affected areas were the Colombo and Gampaha districts.
Heavy rains were experienced in Colombo, Gampaha and several other areas in the country yesterday as well. Many areas in the Gampaha district were inundated as a result of the canals in the area overflowing. Thereby, backhoe machines were used to clear the canals in the Tudalla area in Jayala. Meanwhile, the rock dam built at the Dhenawata Sri Vivekarama in IDH was washed away by the heavy rains. The Sanghavasa in the Paramita Bodhi Malu Vihara in Gotatua was also damaged by the heavy rains.
And with that, we go in for a short commercial break. We'll be right back.
News means freedom.